Okay, so here we're checking out some. Ooh, and right away we are seeing one of the new features in the game, which is this new dual wielding system, where you can have sort of a traditional melee weapon in one hand, and in the other hand, you're able to fire off spells. Right there, I think that appears to be a frost spell in which you are encasing the enemy in frost until they just crackle and die.
So this is actually one of the things I'm actually really excited to see in Skyrim, or some of the new magic attacks and things like that, because I felt like in Oblivion they were kind of, you got what you were expecting. So in this, it looks like they're a little bit more dynamic.
It kind of gives off a bit of a Bioshock 2 feel in some ways. You've got the weapon in one hand and like the plasmids in the other, and it was very.
Oh God, bunny rabbit! Oh, get it! Oh.
This is one of my favorite aspects of the game, which is just wandering through the wilderness and tormenting wild animals, which you can also encase in your frost spell. And
bears! Oh,
that
stupid bear!
You just toppled down like a building.
Yeah,
that was amazing. Having a look at some of the wildlife here: bears, giant spiders, tree people.
And it's actually really great to see some of the varied enemy design too. Like, I haven't seen any of these. I mean, I've seen bears before, but
yeah,
you know, this tree people.
Tree people.
And even just looking at the detail in the environments too, just the amount of stuff that's just going on is incredible.
Like even like on that table there, you've got like little plates and bowls and stuff. Ooh, troll here asking for trouble.
And those were execution moves?
Yeah, so they've got like finishing moves in which it sort of like pops out to a third-person camera, which kind of reminds me a little bit of the VATS system in the Fallout series, the two most recent Fallout games. And here we're having a look at, we're going back inside for some dungeons. One of the interesting things about the dungeons in Skyrim is that they've actually hired level designers to work on the dungeons and map them out, as opposed to Oblivion, where they had like their environmental artists work on most of the dungeons.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So hopefully that means more varied and exciting dungeon designs.
So we have dragons.
Dragons. My wish came true. We're checking out some of the dragons here. Now the new, one of the big new features in the game are these things called dragon shouts, which are like these special high-powered magic spells, essentially. And the currency for those is dragon souls. You have to slay a dragon, which, judging by what I've seen and what we're seeing here, is not an easy thing to do. But once you get those dragon souls, you get to unlock a new dragon shout.
That's actually something I was a little curious about, is just how frequently you're going to see dragons in the game. It actually seems like it's pretty often, or I mean often enough where you would need them.
I'm curious about that. And I wonder, like, I'm curious how that varies depending on which part of the world you're in, because the only footage I've seen of dragons has been in these sort of open tundra areas. And there we see a dragon decomposing quite sadly, at which point the player will likely snatch up its soul.
And that's because you're this whole dragonborn person.
You're a dragonborn, you're able to speak the language of the dragons. Bethesda actually created an entire language and alphabet for the dragons to keep things consistent. So when you're doing your dragon shouts, you're actually speaking a language.
What is going on?
That appears to be a chicken right there, and it's a reanimated chicken.
Oh
that
my
is
God.
Interesting. You were able to create zombie animals in Skyrim, which is pretty cool. That is kind of awesome. This, if I'm not mistaken, I might be wrong here, but I think this is one of the dragon walls where you go to learn a new dragon shout. It's got the whole language sort of carved into the wall there. And I think that means Gary was here, 1997.
San Dimas High School football rules.
Yep. I'm curious which platform this footage was captured from, if this was console or PC.
Yeah, I mean, I think up until this point, we've mostly seen 360.
Yeah, we've mostly seen 360 footage. What I understand is that one of the significant differences with the PC version is that the draw distance is going to be a lot better. So you'll be able to see, farther off mountains and what have you, which probably significantly adds to the sense of place.